Let me know who is here with me today. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host. I'm in Ohio. So give that city and that state a shout out and let me know where you are coming in from. Hello, Dana. Dana, thank you for staying. Let me know where you are coming in from. Dana's coming in from Louisville. Hello, Gwendolyn from the ATL has shown up. Karen from North Carolina. All right. Who else? Who else is here with me today? Tamika from Maryland and Katrina. Is that right? Katrina from Tennessee is in the house. All right, we're going to get started right away because we hopped on late because of some technical difficulties, but I am so glad that you're here with me because this is very important information that I'm going to share with you today. And I just need one promise that you're going to share it with other organizations, especially other women-led organizations, because a lot of this information I'm going to share with you today, you probably will not have heard before. All right, so it's going to be very important as we welcome Juanita from Chi-Town, Chicago, is up in the house. All right, so we're going to get started because again, I have a lot of information to share with you. Hello, Loretta from Milwaukee. I'm going to share my screen. Let me make sure everything is up and ready. And then I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started right away. All right. It is looking good. All right. Hopefully you will all be able to see my screen. This is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. And this is my live, we're definitely live noon session. So let me introduce myself formally. I'm going to move this out of the way and move it all the way down here. Yes, they nicknamed me the Grants Queen because I have been a professional grant writer and instructor for 17 years, and I have won almost $20 million in grants, not just written one for my clients. And 3 years ago, I created a grant writing academy where I now serve over 3,000 students, nonprofits, and small businesses. And I have trained over 30,000 organizations in grant writing. Now, I teach grant writing predominantly all over the country for some of your smaller organizations, your private nonprofits, your small businesses, but also some of your major organizations as well that you might have heard of, like Goldman Sachs, the Urban League, National Association of Women Business Owners. And I am a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program. And my undergraduate and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And I truly believe it is my mission and my purpose to help organizations just like yours secure funding so that you can realize your mission, right? That is so important for all of you. We'll talk about mission in a moment too. Now, how did I get here? Because I didn't always be a grant writer or a grant instructor. I was actually a publishing executive living in Pennsylvania. Is anybody here from Pennsylvania? And I got hurt. So when I got hurt, like literally the bottom fell out from beneath me because I went from traveling the world to moving back home to Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I was born and raised, to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic. Everything I owned put into a storage unit and moving in with my sister where I was for 4 years. It literally took me 2 years just to recuperate, to get to the point where I could work. So when I say I know how it is to start from ground zero, I started with nothing, right? Because first of all, I had to heal. I was hurt. And then when I finally got better, it took me 2 years to recuperate. When I finally got better, I couldn't find a job. I was in Cleveland. My experience was in professional publishing in Pennsylvania. Couldn't find a job. So that's when I started LaPav Consulting. It's been 17 years, haven't looked back. One of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. So let me know who is here with me today. Are you a nonprofit? Or maybe you're a small business. If you're a small business, you could be an LLC or a an S corp or a sole proprietor, or maybe you are both because I am finding that a lot of small businesses are opening nonprofits. So maybe you're both. So let me know in the chat, who do I have with me? Nonprofit, small business, or both? Oh, I'm seeing some boths. Both. Nonprofit LLC. Oh, you're in the right place. You are in the right place because there are grants for both entities. Yes, I'm going to make that clear. I'm going to say it again. There are grants for nonprofits and there are grants for small businesses. So you're in the right place. Back to my story. I became the executive director of a nonprofit. That was my first contracted position, having my own company, right? Well, I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would literally pay for my salary for an entire year, thus saving my job, thus saving the organization. Now, let me tell you, I had never seen a grant before at that point. I had no knowledge of grants, and I'm being asked to write a grant to save my job. So, yes, I needed help. Yes, the pressure was on. But you know what? I did it. I researched. I wrote that grant. I won that grant. It paid for my salary for the entire year. And I learned something. I learned that one, you can write and win grants with zero experience. There is a process to winning grants. And that is what I'm going to share with you today, which is information that some of you may not have even received before. But it also taught me what you can do with grant money. This is year 17 for me being in this industry. I hear from you all the time. I know you're tired. You're tired of what? Using your own money to fund your organization, right? To fund your passion, whether it's your nonprofit or your small business. You're tired of using your own money. Why not use somebody else's money to help fund your organization that you don't pay back? You don't pay grant money back. It comes from third-party resources. But it also taught me what you can do with grant money because I also know, because I hear from you, that you're tired of wearing all 20 hats in your organization. You can't do this by yourself. Take it from me. This is year 17 of me owning my own business full time. Can't do it alone. But guess what? You can use grant money to hire help, to maybe buy supplies so that you're not always using your own funds. So grant writing became my most sought after service. And I went from winning $500 grants to $500,000 grants. I went from winning your local grants to your national grants to 1 year grants to multi-year grants, right? And so what I know that you can do is write grants because grant writing is a little different now than it used to be. And I'll show you why it's different and why right now you can do this. You can do this. I did it with no experience. All right. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Why this class is even important. I'm going to go through the grant landscape. I'm going to show you how you prepare to apply for grants. What do you write in the application? How do you write the application? How do you attract the organizations that still want to give you money, even in this crazy grant environment, right? And then I'm going to show you how you conduct the research so that you're finding the organizations. And then why you need to be considering AI when you are writing grants. Then I have a bonus surprise for you. And let me tell you, people who know me know I don't do fluff. I don't do fluff. This is a no fluff zone. The information that you're going to get today will help you secure grant money. All right, I'm here to help you. Therefore, you're even going to get a copy of the replay. I'm not going to charge you for the replay because I'm here to help you. So you're going to get a copy of the replay. You'll get it today. It will be free to you. You'll have it forever so that you can come back to it again and again and again. But remember, I need one promise that you will share this information with other colleagues, with other organizations, especially women-led organizations, right? Because they continue, right, to put obstacles in our way. And I'm here to knock down as many of them as I can. All right, ready to go? All right, all right. Now, why are we even here? We're here because we as women leaders, we need access to money. We need access to grant funding because guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. All right. Like, are you as tired as I am of hearing about these loans? We want grant funding because you don't pay grant money back. And let me say this to all of you, you can do this. I said before, grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not writing some 500-page document that's taking you 3 months. That's what I used to do. Some grant applications now, I kid you not, 3, 4, 5 pages because foundations don't even have the staff to sit and sort through and review 500-page documents. That's why so many of the applications are so short. But please understand there's a process to this. This may be the first time you're hearing this. There's a process to winning. And guess what? It is about more than what you write in that application. All right. I'm going to teach you the process today. So listen up. All right. Let me first talk about what's going on with grants. What is the current grant landscape? We keep hearing about the federal cuts. I know that the federal government has cut most grants. I know that they've tried to cut out all DEI. But guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grants. Grants come from thousands of resources. Your private foundations, your community foundations, your family foundations. And guess what? They're giving to nonprofits and small businesses. All right? But I want you to do one thing, and that is consider diversifying your funding. Look, I don't want you to put all of those expensive eggs in one basket. Yes, you should be pursuing grants, but you should also be pursuing sponsorships and individual donations. And yes, corporate contracts. Did you know that as a small business, you can get corporate contracts? You don't need to be some huge conglomerate. All right? So just diversify. Your funding should come from multiple streams, not just from grants. All right. Now, there's a unique opportunity that exists for you right now. You know, sometimes you've got to make lemonade out of lemons. Now, we know that the federal grants are being cut, but guess what? There are people who are thinking there are no grants. And guess what? That means that there are fewer people applying for the billions of dollars in grants that still exist, which means there's a little less competition out here. So guess what? You're going to come in and you're going to start applying for these grants. Also, here's the phenomenal news. Because of the federal grant cuts, your local foundations, your corporate foundations, and your family foundations are literally increasing the amount of grant money that they are providing. So they're increasing the amount of grants. They're also increasing the number of grants that they're offering. Why? Because they're trying to fill in the gaps left by the federal grant cuts. Because guess what? Just because the federal government cut grants doesn't mean that the need went away. Why, whatever the reason that you opened your nonprofit or that you started your small business, that reason still exists. It didn't go away because of what's happening in Washington. So I want you to be encouraged because grants still exist. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI. We know that the federal government has cut DEI. But here's what I want you to know because you can still get grants earmarked for these communities. We know diversity, equity, and inclusion includes women, ethnicities, like communities of color, right? But also veterans and the disabled. There is a way that you can still get this funding. What you're going to do is tweak that language because think about this. Foundations give to those communities. And just because the federal government cut DEI doesn't mean that they're going to stop giving to the people that they serve. So what are they doing to still fulfill their mission of giving to these communities, but also not upsetting, right, the White House? They're changing language. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to start tweaking your language because at the end of the day, your goal is to still get grant money, even if you serve these communities. And here's more good news for you. There are some foundations and some organizations that are absolutely supporting DEI. Foundations like the Ford Foundation, the Kellogg Foundation, they are publicly committed to DEI. You go to their websites, they will include information and language that will say, yes, we're giving funding to communities of color to help racial inequities. So you may not always need to tweak that language, but be prepared to do so, right? Because again, your goal is to get the grant money. So here's what you're going to do. Let's say you have a program that offers youth development opportunities for Black boys. Look, you serve Black boys. That's who you serve. You don't stop serving Black boys. But you might need to tweak the language and take out the ethnicity or the race or the gender, and then instead talk about the condition. So instead of you saying our program offers youth development opportunities for Black boys, you're going to say we provide youth development for what? Historically underserved and underrepresented boys. Or you serve boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm tweaking this language. And these are buzzwords that you're going to look for when you are applying for grants because you may no longer see Black or minority or African American. You may see these buzzwords, right? And the same is true for women. Let's say you have a program where you provide employment and career coaching for women. You don't change who you serve, you still serve women. You tweak that language. Now you might say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges, right? Due to what? Caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. Women, right? This is very, very, very important for you to get because this is how you're still going to get grant money that is available, that's being given by foundations all over the country. You're going to look to tweak your language if you need to. Now, if you get what I'm saying, give me a yes in the chat because this is very important for you to get because this is how you're still going to get grant money, even in this environment. Got it? I'm saying yeses, yes, yes, yes. All right, all right, all right. Now, let's get back to some basics. Some of you have nonprofits. Get your 501c3. You're going to need it. That's your tax exempt charitable organization designation. And by the way, as we move through this presentation, please ask your questions. We're going to do a thorough Q&A at the end. So don't be shy. This is not the time for you to be shy. This is the opportunity for you to ask a grants expert your grant questions. So drop them into the chat or the Q&A, either one, and I'll get to them at the end. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. It's very important information for you to get. Now, this is the slide I need for you all to look at. This is the annual grant funding that's provided every year. This is coming from foundations and corporations and then bequest giving. Look at this number for 2024, $200 billion. This is the money that's being given away right now. Don't let anybody tell you that there's no grant money. $200 billion, that is a lot of money. It's being given out. How are you going to position your organization to get it? And as you notice, you don't see federal funding anywhere on this slide, do you? There's grant money available away from federal funds, right? So look at this number, $200 billion, but don't be intimidated, right? Because too often people see these large numbers and think, oh, Linda, there's like no way I can get any of this money. It's just the numbers are too large. There's no way. At the end of the day, I need for you to focus on what you need because you just need a little bit of $200 billion, right? You don't need it all. So right now, all of you, I want you to really think about this. I want you to put into the chat. I just need a little bit. Everybody right now, write into the chat. I just need a little bit. You just need a little bit of $200 billion, right? Nobody's trying to be greedy. You don't need it all. So think about this. That's right, Dana. Are you trying to get, Juanita, are you trying to get all $200 billion? No. Think about the portion that you need when you're going after this funding because there's no time to be intimidated. This money is being given out every single day to organizations just like yours. But I need for you to be grant ready. Too many organizations see grants, they fill out the application, they send it off, and they wonder why they get a rejection letter. Download some type of editing software program onto your computer. I happen to love Grammarly. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love right now in the chat. You download it onto your computer, and literally, it will self-correct as you write. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have this article, Improve Writing Skills Dramatically by Doing These 15 Things. Why is this important? Because when you are submitting your grant application, I just don't want you to submit an application full of grammatical errors. It is so easy to do. You can have a great program, but you don't want that foundation to not be able to read through your application. And this is so easy to do. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. All right, so download Grammarly is free so that you can avoid submitting applications full of grammatical errors. All right. Also, to become grant ready, get your documents in order. Remember, I said earlier, winning a grant application is about more than what you write in the application. Get your documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number, your 501c3 if you are a nonprofit. If you are a small business, are you legitimate? Do you have your articles of incorporation? Nonprofits, especially, you will need a list of your board of directors. All of you need letters of support. You should be asking people in your community, whether it's the mayor that you may know, politicians, your church, your pastor, community leaders, write letters of support so that you can submit those letters with your application. All of you need an operating budget. I don't want you to freak out at this term, operating budget. You can download a template from the internet. All it is a document where you are indicating what you think your expenses are going to be for the upcoming year. In other words, how much money is it going to take for you to operate over the course of a year? And then if you are currently operating, yes, you need your financial documents, your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to get into the grant application and go through the components and give you best practices so that you can write every component so that it's telling your story, because really that's what a grant application is. It's an opportunity for you to tell your story. All right. The mission statement is everything. Yes, you need a mission, even if you are a small business, because your mission defines who you are and what you do, your aims and your goals, but it's more than that because you need to align your mission to the mission of the foundation that's giving you money. So if you're laser focused on maybe K through 12 education, make sure that the foundation is giving in the area of K through 12 education. So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101 for you. All right. All right. Now, this section is where you are going to truly separate yourself from the pack. It is how you describe your organization. And I need for you to really focus on one word: impact. This is how foundations are giving grant money. It's based on impact. Track your success. What is the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? You have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people do you place in shelters? Now, let's say you haven't opened. I still want you to write about your impact using real numbers, but now you're going to focus on projected numbers. Let's say you have a tutoring organization. You tutor high school kids after school. You can write in the grant application that once students complete my tutoring program, I project that the impact will be they will increase their reading proficiency scores by 5%, or they will increase their math proficiency scores by 10%. So you can project in the application if you have not yet started. But it's so important to talk about impact because that's how foundations are giving now. It's based on impact. So use real numbers, whether you are open currently or you're going to open, talk about your impact. All right. And when you write this application, this is very important. You have to write as if you're addressing an issue. Because think about why did you open? Whether you have a small business or a nonprofit, what was the issue you were trying to address? I like to use the example of a bakery. Bakery wants to locate in a downtown community. Now you might be thinking, what is the problem that she's solving? She's making cakes all day, but guess what? Maybe she decided to open a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods, or maybe it's about economic development because she wants to help with the revitalization of her community. So she wants maybe a community development grant. Whatever that issue is, whether it's opening up a restaurant or needing a community development grant, it's going to connect you back to the foundation that wants to give you money because guess what? They're giving money in the same area. Every foundation has an area of interest where they give money. You want to make sure that what you're doing is aligned to theirs. How do you find out where they give and how they give? You go to their websites. And even though 90% of foundations don't have a website, most of the ones that release applications and RFPs do. And then even if they don't, there's ways that you can get information about those foundations. Now, keep in mind, you all have a decision to make, though. When you are applying for grants, you have to write in the application whether you want an operating grant or a program project grant. Now, operating grants are fantastic to have because they help you pay for your administrative costs, your operating costs. They can help you shore up your capacity. So you get to apply these funds for your salaries, even your lease, IT, your marketing. But most grants have to go to a particular program or project, which is okay. Let's take that bakery. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service. That could be a project. But you have to decide operating a program project per foundation, only one. But at the end of the day, whatever you do, you should always be applying for grant money to foundations. You have to apply to multiple foundations. I want you to tell me why you think that is in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know in the chat. Keep in mind, this is not a one and done industry, right? This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? This is a marathon. So keep that in mind and keep asking your questions. I see some really good ones. Let me know in the chat right now, why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? You tell me in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to more than one foundation when you're getting your grant money? When you're seeking grant money? Keep in mind, right? That's right, Juanita, the more you apply to better options to receive funding. Too often, we hear of the organization that gets $1 million grant, and then once the money has been spent, the organization goes out of business. This can't be. That's right. You increase your chances, Gwendolyn, right? We hear that too often because they relied on one grant. You have to apply. And also, grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you they can guarantee you grant money. 99.9% of the time, they're spammers. I see it all the time on social media. Oh, apply here. Everybody wins. Everybody gets grant money. No, 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 no. Right? Those are the scammers. So be careful. 99.9% of the time, there's no such thing as guaranteed grant money. And whatever you do, get community partners. They will strengthen your grant application. This question is going to be on the grant application. You can't do it by yourself. Collaborate. This is critical for you surviving, but also to submitting a great grant application because foundations expect you to be able to collaborate with others in the community. And I'm not speaking of partnerships where you're exchanging a portion of your ownership. No, these are community partnerships. So let's say you have an accounting firm. You could give a tax talk at your local library. I think libraries are phenomenal community partners because they're going to promote your tax talk. You give one free every month. What is it going to do? It's going to raise your level of visibility. Why is that important? Because foundations are always looking to see who's doing what in their community. So when you are applying for that grant from the foundation, they may know you from your tax talks at the library. Here's another example. Let's say a young lady has an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure that when people are released back into society from jail, that they become successful members of the community so that they don't go back to jail. Now, I want you to tell me into the chat who you think her community partner should be. Now, she's got to interview the inmates before they are released to make sure they qualify for a program, right? So you tell me who she should be meeting with. She wants to make sure that ex-offenders, once they're released into the community, become successful and that they don't go back to jail. So you tell me in the chat, who do you think she should be partnering with? She has to interview them while they're in jail, the inmates, make sure they qualify for her program. Who should she be meeting? Parole officials, Juanita, absolutely. Absolutely. Probation officers, Gwendolyn, absolutely. How about the jail system? She's got to be able to work with the warden or the sheriff's office to be able to get into the jail system and interview the inmates. But also, once they're released, do they need somewhere to live? What about people who own transitional housing, right? You want them to work, right? You want them to have a successful job so that they're not committing criminal acts. What about workforce development programs, right? You know, there are organizations, there are companies that hire ex-offenders. She needs to connect with them. So you see, this is not really difficult when you think about who you should be connecting with. So this is your homework. I need for you all to name 5 organizations that you're going to connect with in your community based on your program. That's your homework. Name 5. All right. Now let's get to the money. This is the grant budget. This is how you're going to indicate your use of the grant funding. How are you going to spend it? Itemize your grant budget. So if you need supplies, how many supplies do you need? What is the cost of each supply? Who's going to be using the supplies? Right? You need to hire staff? Who do you need? How many hours will the person be working? What is the pay rate per hour? Itemize. And here's a nugget for you. In the budget narrative, always connect the money back to the mission, back to your mission and the mission of the foundation. So if you need a $20,000 grant, you talk about in that budget narrative how that money is going to support your mission and the mission of the foundation that you're seeking the money from. Because in the budget narrative, you're going to be explaining your use of the funds. Now, everybody, this is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. You need to meet with the foundation first. People, this is not a money grab. You getting a grant is not a money grab. You need to build a relationship with these foundations. So yes, you need to meet with them before you submit the grant application. This is critical because in this meeting, they are going to give you insight into the grant that is not even on their website. You want to meet with them. They want to meet with you because they're considering giving you their grant funding. I probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 16 years. And next week, I'm having a special training that will take you step by step through this foundation meeting. I'm going to drop the link in a little bit later because I want you all to attend because this is often the deciding factor as to whether or not you get grant money. Did you meet with the foundation? And so next week, I'm going to be taking you step by step as to how you do it and what you need to do. All right. Again, I'm going to drop that link in a little bit later. But here's what I want to know from you, because I think some of you are wondering about this time issue. Like, I don't have time for this, Linda. This sounds great. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember, I said at the beginning that some of these applications are 2 and 3 pages? They are. But also, AI will give you your time back. You use AI to help you write grants. Oh my gosh, lightning fast. So no longer are you spending weeks and weeks and weeks not with AI, but you have to know how to use it. We'll talk about that in a moment. But now we're going after the grant research. This is how you find the resources. Oh, and by the way, let me give you another clue before we get into the research. How do you meet with those foundations? I'm going to explain it in my training, but you're going to send them a letter, an email where you introduce yourself in the email. And whatever you do in that email, you never ever ask for money. In the email, when you introduce yourself to the foundation to ask for the meeting, wait until you get into the meeting to ask for the money. All right. Now, how do you find the grants? Now, Google is fine, people, but I need for you to use a portal that is set up just for information about grants. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information in the US about grants. It's $50 a month to subscribe or totally free access. Totally free access at your library. At your library. Now, the Lilly Foundation, do you have a faith-based organization or maybe a church? They're the largest funder of religious organizations. There are 2 grants right now that I'm aware of. There are others, but one is a worship grant. The other is a grant strictly for Black churches. This is why I say to you, not all, not all foundations are giving in to what's going on in the White House. There are some foundations that are gladly giving to communities of color, just so you know. Grant Watch, they give you the synopsis of the grant, the source, the contact information, the deadline. They're $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. Grant Station has grant openings plus also trainings. They're great. All of these, by the way, are great for nonprofits and small businesses. They all house grants for both. Even grants.gov, even though we know that many of the federal grants have been cut, there are still a few federal grants. And yes, even federal grants give to small businesses and nonprofits. Now, Grant Station, I talked about them, urbanawarenessusa.org. They provide information on maybe 2 to 3 grants a week, and they have a lot of free training. So you can sign up for their free newsletter. Now, I want to show you really quickly, how do you conduct this grant research? This is Grant Watch. Remember, they're $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. You check in the middle. Are you a nonprofit or a business? You go to the left here and you start completing these filters. Where are you located? Who do you serve? Who is your target population? Because you can't help everybody. This is where so many organizations fail. You're just trying to help everybody. You should have one predominant target population that you serve. You include it, and then you push a button and you get a list of grants. And here's something I want to tell you about location, because many of you leave money on the table. You leave grant money on the table, you do, because you're not starting local. Do you know it's easier to get local grant money right in your own backyard? So search for your local community foundations. Literally, you can Google local community foundation. You can Google it, and your local community foundation will pop up. You need to meet with them. But don't disregard your national foundations. Go outside of your state, because there are foundations in Texas that could be giving money to people in Tennessee. And for the international community, this is absolutely for you as well. This is not just for US based organizations. There are grants worldwide. So you may be here in the US, but maybe your population is in Belize, right? You can still get grant funding. Now, I want to just show you where even now there are still some grants earmarked for women. So when I say tweak the language, be prepared to tweak the language. You may not always need to, but be prepared to. HelloAlice.com, they list grants for small businesses. Main Street, do you have a brick and mortar? Right? Do you have a physical location? That grant releases every single year. Amber Grants for Women, strictly grants for women. They give away $30,000 every single month. And 10,000 of it is geared towards a particular industry. For the month, let's see, we're in September. For the month of September is education and childcare. So if your nonprofit, I'm sorry, this is for predominantly small businesses. If your small business is geared towards childcare or education, apply for that grant. 37angels.com. Maybe you need a significant amount of money because they fund organizations up to $150,000. I Fund Women, they have a lot of international grants. Sky's the Limit. They focus on startups. Yes, there are startup grants. Amarillo. Maybe you have a super small nonprofit and you might be thinking, oh, Linda, this is not for me. I'm too small. Amarillo, there in Texas, they focus on only giving money to very small nonprofits. Or maybe your nonprofit doesn't even have a payroll. Maybe you don't have people on your payroll. Maybe you don't even pay yourself. It's okay because all volunteer nonprofits can get grant money too. So don't think you're too small. Don't think because you don't have some huge organizational chart that you can't get grant funding. Organizations just like yours getting grant money every day. Now, really quickly, I want you to put into the chat here. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks? Banks, 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 banks. Banks, banks, banks. Loans. Loretta, yes. Loans, what else? Do you, more loans? Yes. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money in the United States? Grant money. I say this to you because I need for you to understand that grants are coming from so many resources other than the federal government. And no, it doesn't have to be your bank. I'm going to give you four hot leads. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, Truist. They all give grants to nonprofits and small businesses. Look at maybe a bank in your community that has maybe a great footprint. Maybe they have a regional office or headquarters. I'm in Ohio. One of the largest foundations in Ohio belongs to a bank, the Key Bank Foundation, right? So, grant money, grant money from banks. Yes. Now, AI. If you're using ChatGPT, good for you. But I need for you to know how to use it. Use it as a tool. It's never going to be a replacement. It is so important that you understand how to use AI. It is a game changer. Those of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time to write these grants, lightning fast. It will rewrite, it will improve your application, but there is no getting around you understanding how to write the basics about your organization because nobody knows your organization like you. So, yes, you have to determine your mission, your impact statement, who your target population is, your needs statement, write about your program, your project, your service, and then you can upload it into ChatGPT. You have to feed ChatGPT in the form of prompts. You have to know what those prompts are. And then you feed it your information so that it can perfect your writing. Again, you don't have to be a professional grant writer to get grants. You have to know that there's a process. You have to know how to write, and ChatGPT can help you. So you can use it to literally find the right funder. Those of you who are focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, it will help you reframe your mission and your programming to use safe words. It will help you align your mission to foundation's missions. It will literally help you write that alignment. And yes, it will help you write better and more impactful narratives. The research is amazing and it's recent, right? As of 2024. And those letters of support that I said that you need to be getting, it will write the letter of support for you so that you can just hand it to the people, right? Your need statement, who are you helping? How are you helping them? Executive summary is excellent, but you've got to be able to feed it. You have to be able to write the basics of your organization and then you feed it. And this is where my bonus surprise comes in because I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you write about your organization. Because if you are going to seek grants, please do so in a community where you can get the answers that you need to your questions so that you can get counsel on different grants that you might be pursuing, so that you can get writing tips, the latest grant updates, right? And oh my gosh, to help you know when you're being scammed because they're out there. And being in a community will keep you focused and accountable. And remember, I said I've won over $18 million is because I've developed a framework that my 3,000 students who are winning millions of dollars are using. And that's my grant writing course. It's Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. This is a course that helped me win over $18 million. I provided it so that you can do the same, right? Because it's going to help you write about your organization so that you know how to answer every part of the grant application. Because in the 17 years that I've been in this industry, I've been hired to complete and build grant applications, including writing the grant questions. I have used those questions to build this course. But your secret weapon is going to be me and my coaching because I'm going to serve as your grant coach so that when you meet with that foundation, you'll know what to ask. You'll know how to win that meeting. You will know what you never leave that meeting without knowing. We have a private Facebook group. You come into the group, you ask your questions, and you get help from real people. I'm in there all the time answering questions, right? I answer the questions because you may be able to create your budget, but do you know how much money to ask for? Do you know that not every application is specific about the amount of money that the grant is being provided for? Sometimes you have to determine how much money to ask for, and you can't always go in asking for like $1 million. You have to know what to ask. Come into the Facebook group in our community that I've created and ask, like, what should I be asking for? Should I be asking for operating money or program project money? We will help you. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Everything's downloadable. The lessons, the tasks, the workbooks, the quizzes. And at the end of this course, you get a grant template. You use that template to start applying for grants. That's why it's so much easier and faster when you are in a community and you have help. This is why people give up because they get frustrated, they apply for grants, they get rejected, they don't know why. But by being in a community, you get help all along the way. And that grant template that you're going to have once you answer these questions, you can use your answers to then drop into AI, right? If you want to even perfect those answers. But you use that grant template to start applying for grants. And yes, I give you winning examples of grants so that you know what a winning grant looks like. And then to help you even more, you get a list of over 600 organizations that provide grants. I talked about the private Facebook group. We also drop many, many, many grants in the Facebook group because this community is for organizations that are ready to get grant money. And to help you even further, you get live group coaching with me. I give you an hour of live group coaching. Now, let me show you these numbers because these numbers represent what the course is worth. You will only pay a fraction of it. but the modules are worth $3,549. The videos are worth $599. Your funders list, $499. And yes, you get planners and grant trackers. Now, I've had my course audited 3 times now because I want to make sure you're getting the information that you need. And I have colleagues that literally charge $2,000 for their grant writing course, and you still don't even get what you're going to get here. When I say you pay a fraction because this is intentional by me because I don't want my course or the amount to be another hurdle between you getting grant funding. And I don't want you to ever confuse the amount that you pay for the course with the value because organizations are winning six-figure grants by paying $297 for a grant writing course. Yes, it's worth $5,000 according to the auditors. My normal price is $997. It's been reduced all year to $497 just because of what's going on in the grant world. But for the next 3 days, it's $297. Use the code SEPT09. That's important. It will take off your $200. For those of you who need more help, there's a monthly payment, $175 a month for 2 months. Use the code, but put a T on the end of it, which will represent a 2-month payment plan, right? And yes, the course never expires. Now think about that because you know most courses, what you get 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. The course never expires. You get everything here, course, Facebook group, the group coaching, which is live once a month. That's every month. That's not one and done. That's every month, people. Write everything off. It's all tax deductible. And yes, you even get a certificate of completion. So if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. And I am so proud to introduce. I talked to you about AI. It has taken me 2 years to create my new AI-powered grants accelerator. This is a new course that is a companion to the grant writing course, right? Because you got to know how to write, right? The grant application. You need the basics. That course is only $297. This AI course, and this is a full course, people, is 8 modules and 20 lessons. It's worth $3,000. It's going to be $247 when it releases. The release date is October 1st. For the next 3 days, and you don't even need a coupon, the pre-sale price is $97. That's for a full AI course. You need to know how to use AI. This is so important. So you will have the best of both worlds. You'll have the grant writing course that will teach you how to write every part of that grant proposal. And then you're going to use what you've written and use AI to start applying even faster. When I say lightning fast, I mean lightning fast. You're going to use AI to edit your grant applications, to summarize grant proposals, right? To research. It can also research to help you find the right funders. And I even included a custom AI buddy that literally will help you master AI and grant writing. It's at a crazy price. It's $97 because this is a pre-sale price. It releases October 1st. All right. So into the chat, you've got the link for the regular course, the $5,000 course. That's $297. That will take you through every part of the grant application. But everything is about AI now because it is a game changer. You no longer have to worry about, oh my gosh, it's going to take me hours. No, not at all. This is a companion to the grant writing course so that when I'm asking you a question in the grant writing course, right, you can write your answer because you know best about your organization. Write it down, and then AI will teach you how to take what you've written, plop it into AI, give you an even better answer. It's truly amazing. All right. For those of you who want something a little more in depth, I do offer grant writing boot camps. 2 days with me, 7 days a week. I'm sorry, 7 hours a day for 2 days. That's 14 hours. This is for those of you who are truly ready for in-depth teaching. It is a boot camp. It is a private session with you and me, 2 days, 7 hours a day. That's 14 hours. You will leave with a completed grant application because I'm going to teach you AI in those 2 days. It includes the course. It includes the grant writing course. It includes the AI course. You will leave with a completed grant application after those 2 days. You will leave with a list of local and national grants. You will leave with your implementation plan. Keisha took the boot camp, had never written a grant before in her life. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. So people, organizations are winning six-figure grants with my resources. All right. Now, these people here, they just paid $300 for the course. And this is what is happening. This is June. Even in the midst of all of the grant craziness, right? $250,000. She's not a professional grant writer, but she took the course and she's doing exactly what I'm asking her to do. $250,000 in June, right? A woman owned business. For those of you who are wondering if your small business can get grant money, she has a for-profit senior care agency. She has an LLC. Whitney, $200,000. She has a doula organization. She got money locally and nationally. Kanisha, $100,000. This is all recent, right? Kimberly, $84,000. Kimberly was with me on a presentation. She said this application was the easiest one she had ever completed because she's in the course. She knows how to complete grant applications now. This application was, she said, I think maybe 4 pages. $84,000. Cherie, $11,000. This is a process. I've created a framework. So even now, organizations are winning, as you can see, 5 and 6 figure grants. The massage company won a $20,000 grant. Christina has an online educational consulting firm. You don't need to have a brick and mortar. You can just have an online presence and get grants if you know what to do. All right. So I'm going to stop there because it is Q&A time. But before I do that, so make sure I'm going to give you one last chance. Make sure that you are dropping your questions. There's still time to drop your questions into the chat. But I want to show you really quickly how to buy the course. For those of you who are asking, I want to show you live. This is how you buy the course. The link to the AI course is in the chat. You don't need a code for that, but you do need a code to buy the regular course. So I'm going to show you. Let me share my screen so I can show you how to buy the regular course and use your code. So when you hit the link, you're going to see this page here for the $297. Remember, that includes everything, the course, the Facebook group, the group coaching. Hit purchase now. Use your code. Remember, you have a code. SCPT09. Click it. It will take off $200. You're paying $297 for not just a course, but a community where you can come and ask questions and get help. And for those of you who want to meet with me privately, I do offer an Ask the Expert 1 hour private session with me. And I get you together in that hour because before you and I talk about grants, I'm going to go through your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your programming, and your service. And you even leave with just a little mini list of grants. It's a 1 hour strategy session. It's $497. The only time you'll see it for $247 is if you buy it with the course. You have to buy it with the grant writing course. So if you want to buy it, you click on the add to order. It will add it. If not, that's okay. And also for those of you who might need it, we offer buy now, pay later. Yes, even for the $297, you can divide it over 4 months. That's $75 a month. I don't even know of a $75 a month grant. So when you include your email, you're going to hit pay another way. When you get to the payment area, this is just if you want the buy now, pay later. Hit pay another way, hit new payment method, and you will see we offer Affirm, little drop down area, Klarna, or Afterpay. 4 months same as cash. Or you can just pay the $297 with a credit card or PayPal. We also offer a Google Pay or Cash App Pay. All right. Now I mentioned before, we have our own little payment plan. That's just 2 months, $175 a month for 2 months. If you want to take advantage of it, hit purchase now. 2 times 275. Remember, that's what everybody else is paying. You have a coupon that you're going to include. So SCPT 09 with the little T for 2 months. And then you hit apply. There you go. $175 a month for 2 months, and you are done, right? So you've got a few payment options. You can just pay $297 one price and be done. You can take that $297 and spread it out over 4 payments through buy now, pay later, or you can pay twice, $175 a month for 2 months. All right, I just wanted to get that done so that you would see it. And then you also have the link in the chat for the AI grants powered course. That is $97. All right. All right. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to first go through the Q&A. Are there grants to help pay for the cost of the 501c3? Here's the thing. So keep in mind, most grants, if you're a nonprofit, require you to have a 501c3, right? So you can't use grant money to fund any expenses that occur before you get the grant. I'm going to say that again for all of you to understand. You cannot use grant money to pay for any resources, right, that occur before you get the grant money. So I would say no. Excellent question, Juanita. Once you receive the grant funding, does it have to be reported how the funds were used? Absolutely. It's called a grantee report. GRANTEE, a grantee report. So it usually needs to be sent in 1 year after you get the money. So within a year of you getting the money, after the year is up, you send in a report as to how you use the grant money. Because look, if you wrote in the application that you needed $10,000 to buy a computer and you decide to hire somebody with the $10,000 instead, you're going to be paying that money back. You have to make sure that you're using the grant money and the way in which you wrote that you would in the grant application. Now, most foundations that I've worked with over the past 17 years, they don't ask for receipts. That doesn't mean you don't need to keep them, because you need to track how you're spending the grant money. Track it to make sure you know where you spent every penny, but you create a report that showcases where and how you use the money. All right, when you are writing the mission to align with the grant, does it have to be changed on the nonprofit website? So you have one mission statement. You have one mission statement. And so your mission statement should be across the board. Whatever mission statement you have in that grant application should be the one on your website. All right, you have one mission statement. Okay. Because keep in mind, if that's not truly your mission, if that's not the mission of your organization, then you don't want to just create a mission on the grant application so that it aligns with the foundation, because the foundation is going to go to your website. You do realize that. The foundation is going to go to your website to check you out. So it needs to be in alignment. I closed my Facebook account due to being hacked. Well, I need to reopen it again. The course is online. It's a digital course. So it's on a program called Thinkific. So you don't need Facebook to get through the course. Facebook is where the private group is, where you come in, you ask questions. That's on Facebook. So I highly recommend, if for no other reason, if you're going to buy the course, to open up a Facebook account just so that you can get access to the group, because the group is so important. It is really a community. It is where you get the help that you need so that you're not confused any longer, right? Or not knowing where to go. Or I tell you, this truly is how and where people give up, because they don't know anywhere to go. They have questions and they can't go anywhere to get answers. So I recommend you opening up just a Facebook account just so that you can go, if you're going to get the course, to the Facebook group because you have to buy the course to be in the Facebook group. All right, I see questions over in the webinar chat. I see quite a few, so I'm just going to go through them slowly here. So yes, the course is $297. That's one payment, one and done. You don't pay anything else. You're in the course forever. You're in the Facebook group forever, and you get the help that you need. And as you can see, these other testimonials from people, they they were not professional grant writers, but they're getting the help that they need. And they're winning grants. Like not now, right now. They're winning grants right now. And yes, you do write it off. If you are a sole proprietor, it is a business or an educational expense. If you are a nonprofit, it's an expense. All right, let's see here. How can you meet with foundations, with big foundations? You're going to send an email. In the email, you're going to request a meeting. You need the name of the individual. Typically, it's a program director. Go to their website, go to the foundation's website, and look under team or staff and get their names. And typically, they will give you the email address. So you're sending them an email. In that email, you are aligning your organization to theirs. So wherever they're funding, you want to make sure that you're providing a service or a resource, and you ask for a meeting. Whatever you do, don't ask for money in the email. You're going to get a rejection letter. You ask for a meeting, and in the meeting with them is where you ask for the money. And when you buy this course and you come into the Facebook group, let us know that you're going to be meeting. And we'll literally guide you through the meeting. I've probably set up 1,000 of these meetings. I probably attended 1,000. I will, we can guide you through the meeting so that you know what to say and what to do. All right, let's see. Other questions. I'm starting up a care home for young children. Are there anything that I need to do? Yes, absolutely. First, go back to the slide where I talked about how you prepare for grants. You should have all of those documents, right? Your operating budget. I don't know if it's going to be a sole proprietor or an LLC. So I don't know if you're going to be a small business or a nonprofit. It makes a difference. So you have to decide whether or not you're going to be a nonprofit or a sole proprietor. If any of you need help setting up an LLC or knowing how to set up a small business, I'm going to give you, I'm going to drop into the chat SCORE. So SCORE is an organization founded, not founded, but is funded by the Small Business Administration. And it consists of retired individuals, and they will answer questions that you have specifically about how you set up a small business. They also have templates, like they have financial documents. Also, and I didn't mention this, my course comes with templates. Remember, so I talked to you about how you set up the meeting, right, with the foundation. I have a template. I try to make this easy for you. I have a template so that you can use that template when you are sending these emails to meet with the foundations. I have a template that you send to meet with the partners. I have an MOU document. I talked to you early about sponsorships. I have a sponsorship kit right in the Facebook group that you can use. So I have templates for you to make this easy for you. All right. Because in the 70 years I've been in this business, so many organizations, you just don't know what to do. You need grant funding, but you don't know how to get it. And that's what my course is built on, is showing you exactly what you need to do step by step. All right. So care home for young children. Also find out if you need to be licensed. I believe when you say care home, though, I'm not sure what you're saying specifically. Do you mean like a daycare center, or do you mean like a group home for children? You'll probably need a license for both or either one. Is there a line item for the grant writer written in the grant budget? What is it called? All right, so let me explain something to you as to how you work with grant writers. I am a professional grant writer. The colleagues that I work with are professional grant writers. We abide by a grant writing oath, right? An ethical oath. So as a professional grant writer, when you are working with a professional grant writer, you don't pay the grant writer based on whether or not you get the grant. That's not how you work with a professional grant writer because what if you don't get the grant? We've done the work. So as skilled individuals, we have to be paid upfront when you hire a grant writer. So you can't write what you're going to pay me to write a grant for you in the grant application. Because I said this earlier, you cannot use grant funding to pay for any expense that took place before you got the money. That's one. But two, professional grant writers do not work on commission. We get paid up front, and you have to decide how you're going to work with the grant writer. Either you can pay them hourly based on a number of hours a week, you can pay them per grant, you can pay them a stipend every month for them to write a number of grants for you, right? You can do either of that. But no, you can't write the amount that you're going to pay a grant writer to get the grant that you're seeking in the grant application. Now, that doesn't mean, and there are some applications that will specifically ask you, did you use a grant writer? And how did you pay the grant writer? To make sure that you're not paying the grant writer out of grant proceeds. All right. Now, that is different than, let's say you ask for an operating grant because you want to have a grant writer on your staff as a contractor moving forward. So in your operating grant, you can have a line item for a grant writer. Absolutely. So that once you win the grant, after that point in time, you have money to pay a grant writer, but not whatever it costs you to write the grant to get the grant. This is after you win the grant. Just like you can write other staff into your budget, that staff could be a grant writer, right? But it has to be from proceeds moving forward after you win the grant. Hopefully that was clear. So your LLC, right? So you need to get your LLC. You need to set up to get an LLC. I would highly recommend that you contact SCORE because they will have advice for you as to how to get the LLC. But you have to go through your state to be licensed to get your initial articles of incorporation. And then there's a process that you go through to become an LLC, but SCORE can help you with it. I am a I am a non-writing grant writer. I don't know what that means. The organizations do not have any money for me. So I am supposed to get money from them to do the research and write the grant. The orgs do not have any money for me. Then they're not your organizations. Then they're not your oh, you're a novice grant writer. Got it. You're a novice grant writer. The organizations, I want everybody to hear me really clearly on this. I want everybody to hear me what I'm getting ready to say to N. Kennedy. She's a novice grant writer. The organizations do not have any money to pay her. I think you mean to pay you. So I am supposed to get money from them to do the research and write the grants? Absolutely. You're not going to work for free. You're not going to work for free, right? Unless you decide that you want to work for free. Maybe you want to be a volunteer grant writer. That's up to you. If you want to be a volunteer grant writer and work for free, that's totally up to you. But if you want to make a living as a grant writer and organizations tell you that they do not have money to pay you, they're not your clients. You go to the next organization that does, right? If you expect to earn money as a grant writer, you go to organizations that will pay you, and there are plenty. There are plenty that will. There are plenty that will. I have professional grant writers in the course that seek my guidance all the time. So if you are interested in buying the course and coming into the Facebook group to ask your questions, you can ask me questions about what do I need to do to become a professional grant writer? What do I need to do to become a successful grant writer? I would be happy to help you, right? I would be happy. There's tons of advice I can give you. Again, I've been one for 17 years. All right. All right. Now, I believe Let me make sure I've answered all of the questions. I believe I have. I'm going back over to the Q&A. So you have 3 days to get the discount, and I hope you come into this community where you can get the help that you need. I really do. Because it's more than just teaching you how to write grants. It's being in a community that can help you win grants, not just write a bunch of grants, but win grants. But will you have to invest in yourself a little? Yes. Yes. Because time is money, people. And a lot of you have spent a lot of time writing grant applications and not winning any money. And time is money. And what I don't want you to do is get frustrated and give up because grant money is being given every single day. I gave you just a few examples of organizations winning six-figure, five-figure grants right now, and they're not professional grant writers. So before you leave here, there's one last thing I need for you to do. I want you to put into the chat these words. I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money because so much of this is mental. Like you need to put yourself in the right frame of mind. And that is so important because I've heard about procrastination. I know about procrastination for sure. But time is money and this money is available. So that's right. Juanita, Karen, I'm ready to get grant money. This money is available. And my clients are winning five and six-figure grants, even in this environment, right? Gwendolyn, like write this for yourself. This is not for, you're not writing this for me. You're writing this for you. Ronika, I'm ready to get grant money. So you've got the course for $297, a $5,000 course. You've got the brand new AI Grants Accelerator that will be releasing October 1st. That's $97. Trust me, it will never be that price again. That is the pre-sale price. It'll be $247 or $297. It's $97 right now if you buy it in the next 3 days. And hopefully I will see you in the course. I will see you in the Facebook group. Because if you come into the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you to give me a synopsis of your organization. I'm going to help you right away. I'm literally going to give you some links to grants. I will do that for you to get you off to a good start once you come into the Facebook group. So look for my question. Give me a synopsis of your organization, just 3 or 4 sentences, and I'm going to drop in links because my community is here to help you get grant money, not just write a bunch of grants. All right? All right. Oh, let me give you, this is SCORE for those of you who are wanting to start organizations. It's such a great resource for you. All right. So I want to thank you so much for hopping on. Make sure you put my email list, my email. Could you place my email, Melissa? Place my email into the webinar chat. This is very important. Please put my email into your safe senders. Just put into your safe senders or your contact list because this is how you're going to get the email to get the replay. And I just don't want it going to the spam folder because I want you to get your replay. And then for the next 3 days, you'll have your code to get the course if you want to buy the course. So make sure hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. Just copy that, place it into your email list so that when you get the email with the replay, it will pop up. So that's hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. Hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. And yes, the name of the course is Grant Writing for Non-Writers. This is for people who are not professional grant writers. As you can see, they're winning money. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I will see you this week in the course so that I can help you into the Facebook group so I can help you immediately, so that you can start finally winning grant money, not just writing a bunch of grants. So my name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and LaPaul Consulting, and then the new AI Powered Grants Accelerator. So excited about that AI course. 2 years in the making. It's going to be a game changer for you. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and hopefully I will see you in the Facebook group. So thank you so much and have a blessed rest of your week. Stay safe, and whatever you do, keep moving forward. Do not stop. There are organizations waiting on you to get this work done, right? And I want you to get to a place where you don't have to rely solely on your own money. So thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you in the Facebook group this week. Bye-bye.